They laughed before she even spoke. To them, she was invisible, a quiet girl with a mop standing in the corner of a billion-dollar boardroom. But when the company's biggest deal started collapsing, translators confused, clients walking out, the cleaning girl stepped forward. Her voice, calm but commanding, switched fluently between 6 languages. The room froze. Every eye turned toward her. The millionaire who mocked her earlier couldn't move, couldn't breathe, as the girl he dismissed began to rebuild the deal he was losing. He didn't know it yet, but she was about to change everything. Before the laughter, before the stares, Keisha Johnson was just trying to survive. Every morning, she arrived at the towering glass building before sunrise, broom in hand, headphones in her ears, whispering to herself in French, then Mandarin, then Arabic. She wasn't showing off. She was practicing. Languages were her escape. Each word a doorway out of the world that saw her as less dot. Her grandmother had been her first teacher, a woman who spoke to the wind in Swahili and to neighbors in Spanish. Language is power, baby, she used to say. It makes people listen when they'd rather ignore you. Keisha carried that lesson like armor dot in the lobby. Executives brushed past her without a glance. They saw the uniform, not the woman. But Keisha never complained. She observed. Every meeting, every conversation, she absorbed words, accents, patterns. Where others heard noise, she heard opportunity. That morning, when she was cleaning near the conference room, she heard chaos, voices clashing in German and Japanese, frustration boiling. The company's biggest deal, a $3 billion international partnership, was falling apart in real time. She stood there, mop still, heart racing. Her mind switched languages like gears. She knew exactly what was being said and what wasn't, and somewhere deep inside, a quiet voice whispered, "Maybe this is the moment Grandma was talking about." The glass doors of the conference room hissed open for a second, enough for Keisha to glimpse the chaos inside. Charts on the wall, angry executives, and one red-faced billionaire slamming his fist. Mr. Grant, the Grant Holdings CEO. Known for his temper, feared for his arrogance, Keisha looked away quickly, pretending to mop. But his voice cut through the air. Get someone who can actually translate what they're saying. Not these useless interpreters. A translator stood frozen, trembling. Across the table, the Japanese delegate muttered something under his breath, and Keisha understood it. He wasn't angry about money. He was insulted by how they spoke to him, not with him. Then the German investor barked in frustration, and again. Keisha caught every word. His concern wasn't the numbers, it was trust. She bit her lip. Should she say something? Who would listen to the cleaning girl? She tried to step back quietly, but the mop bucket hit the wall clang. All eyes turned. Grant's eyes narrowed. You. What are you doing here? Keisha froze. I'm sorry, sir, I didn't mean. Then don't. Just clean and stay out of the way. The room fell silent again, but one of the interpreters suddenly fainted from exhaustion. Grant cursed loudly. Useless. Someone get water or something. Keisha took a hesitant step forward. Sir, if I may. No, you may not, he snapped. Do you even understand what's happening here? Something changed in her eyes. She straightened her shoulders. Yes, sir. I do. In fact, I understand all of them. The room went quiet, except for the ticking clock. The Japanese delegate's eyes widened. The German executive leaned forward. Keisha calmly switched languages, Japanese to German to French, weaving her words like music. Every tone perfect. Every sentence respectful. The men exchanged stunned glances. Grant's mouth fell open. Who are you? Keisha smiled softly. Just the cleaning girl, who speaks 6 languages. A flicker of disbelief turned into laughter. 6 languages? Don't make me laugh, you. You probably saw a few TikToks and think that's enough. The delegates looked uncomfortable. Keisha bowed slightly. Would you like me to continue the meeting for you, sir? Or would you prefer to lose the deal? Grant stared at her, not knowing if he should fire her or hand her a chair. The tension in the room was electric. The billionaire didn't know it yet, but the janitor he just mocked was about to save his empire. For a full 5 seconds, no one moved. Even the projector's hum seemed to freeze mid-air. Keisha stood there, mop in hand, eyes calm, voice steady. The billionaire leaned back in his chair, amused. "All right then," Grant said coldly. "Go ahead, miss. Polyglot. Show us what you've got." Keisha placed the mop against the wall, wiped her hands, and walked to the center of the table, each step echoing louder than her heartbeat. She turned to the Japanese delegate first, bowing respectfully. "Sumimasen," she said softly in fluent Japanese. "My employer apologizes." He didn't mean disrespect, only urgency. The delegate's eyes softened immediately. He nodded, whispering to his aide, who scribbled notes. Grant blinked, confused. Then she switched to French. "Monsieur Delacroix, vous avez raison, la confiance est plus précieuse que l'argent." "You're right. Mr. Delacroix, trust is worth more than money." The Frenchman froze, eyes wide. She understood his hidden complaint. Then, in Mandarin, she spoke to the Chinese representative, explaining the cultural misstep that caused offense in the first place. In flawless tones, she bridged gaps that translators had failed to close all morning. The whole room was silent except for her voice, smooth, respectful, full of heart. Her tone wasn't robotic like a trained interpreter. It carried soul. Each word came from understanding, not textbooks, but people. Finally, she turned to the room and said in English, "You're all trying to talk numbers, but none of you are speaking respect. That's why this deal is falling apart." The air turned heavy. No one dared interrupt. The Japanese delegate slowly stood, bowing again. "This young woman, she understands our spirit. We accept her as the official interpreter." The other delegates nodded. Grant blinked, speechless, for the first time in years. Wait, hold on. You're telling me you'll stay if she handles it?" "Precisely," Delacroix replied, smiling. "Finally, someone who listens." Grant turned toward Keisha, half in shock, half in surrender. "Fine, do it. Save this deal, and you'll have your job. Maybe even more." She nodded once. And then she did. For the next hour, Keisha became the heartbeat of the room. She translated with grace, guided tone, managed tempers, rebuilt trust. Her words painted bridges between languages and hearts. Even Grant, the arrogant billionaire, leaned forward, mesmerized. For the first time, his empire wasn't being saved by money, but by the woman he had mocked. When it was over, the deal was signed. $3 billion. A handshake across cultures. Applause filled the room, for her. Grant stood up slowly, dazed. How did you learn all that?" Keisha smiled softly. "My grandmother," she said. "She was a maid too? But she told me, if you can speak to people's hearts, their language will follow." Silence. Then, from the corner, someone began to clap. One by one, every delegate joined in. The billionaire stayed frozen, pride shattered, ego burning. But Keisha didn't need his validation. She bowed, picked up her mop again, and whispered, "Now if you'll excuse me, sir. I have a floor to clean." The applause followed her all the way out the door. The next morning, sunlight spilled across the marble floor of Grant Holdings. For the first time, it didn't feel cold. Everyone was still talking about her, the cleaning girl who spoke 6 languages and saved a $3B deal. Whispers floated through the hallways. She wasn't even supposed to be in that meeting. Did you see her? Calm as a diplomat. The CEO looked like a statue. Keisha walked in quietly, carrying her mop, pretending not to hear. But deep inside, she felt seen. When she reached the top floor, the elevator doors opened to reveal Mr. Grant himself, waiting. No guards, no arrogance this time. Just a quiet, heavy look. "Miss Keisha," he said. "Come with me." She hesitated, half expecting trouble. He led her into his massive office overlooking the city. The same office where she had once been told to just clean and stay quiet. Now he gestured to a chair. "Sit, please." She froze. "Sir, I shouldn't sit," he repeated gently. "You've earned it." She sat. For the first time, their eyes met. Not as boss and cleaner, but as human beings. Grant took a deep breath. You saved my company yesterday. And you did it with grace I've never seen in boardrooms filled with men twice your age and paid 1,000 times your salary. Kaisha stayed silent, unsure what to say. Grant reached into a drawer, pulled out a sleek white envelope, and slid it toward her. That's a scholarship, he said. Full coverage, languages, diplomacy, international business. Wherever you want to go, whatever you want to study. Consider it my apology. Kaisha's eyes filled with tears. Sir, I didn't do it for this. I just wanted to help. Grant nodded. I know. That's exactly why you deserve it. He stood up and extended his hand, the same hand that once waved her away. This time, it trembled with respect. She shook it slowly. The man who once mocked her now looked humbled and human-eyed as she left the office. The staff stood silently, watching her pass. The girl with the mop was now the woman who changed how they saw worth. Outside, the city buzzed, horns, traffic, life. Kaisha took a deep breath, looked up at the skyline, and smiled. Grandma was right, she whispered. You don't need a title to change the world, just a voice that speaks truth. She put in her earbuds, walked down the busy street, and faded into the crowd, a quiet legend in plain clothes. In a world that values wealth over wisdom, one woman reminded us that respect has no uniform and brilliance has no color. Because greatness speaks every language.